Hi everybody, I hope you're well. Welcome back to the Shameless Mental Health YouTube channel. I haven't been on it for a little while, so apologies. It's just been a busy few weeks, but I want to just talk to you about slipping away from the routine. You know, when we're on our road to mental health, for me, drink was a major issue in the downfall of much of the negativity that was in my life. What I've found over the last few weeks is that I've found myself slipping back into some old routine as far as the drinking was concerned, and I think I want to share that with you. I think it's important that we're reasonable in our approach to how we walk through this journey and set ourselves out for the road ahead with regards to the recovery through mental health and dealing with those demons. In my case, it is very much the drink and how that affected me, and I think what I want to discuss with you is the idea that setting out those realistic routines, I believe, is very important. I think those of us that have been dependent on alcohol for a long period of time, or if drugs is the thing, I think the idea that we can just completely switch off to that and completely change and go completely celibate and sober, I think is unrealistic. And I think setting out realistic goals is massively important. So in the conversation here today, I want to discuss with you the idea that I was able to acknowledge that drink was a major issue for me. And I did acknowledge that being able to deal with that was massively important. Lots of negativity in my life, the violence, finding myself in bad situations, always end up in fights, arguments being blown out of proportion, all those kind of things were very much a product of drink. People were able to notice in me that I could have no drink at all and respond very differently to those situations, more in a calm and responsible way than very differently to if I'd had, say, 2 or 3 drinks, for example, where I'd been to the pub and I had something on my mind, and drink would fuel that in a very different way, would see me act unreasonably and act in a very different way, and often resort to being abusive or have a very different argumentative state of mind and even behave in a violent way. So yeah, that was something I had to acknowledge as being a major problem for me. But what I've found recently is I've made incredible progress over the last few months, and I've very much got that under control. I've come back from my training course from 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I sort of set out a target that I'd make sure that I didn't go back to drinking every day and put myself in a position where I'd undone all the great work that I'd done. But what has happened over the last few weeks, we've had a couple of bank holidays, for example, and I found myself back in the pub again. And don't get me wrong, it's nothing like what it used to be, but it's still negative. And I think it's important to sort of say that, I think that's normal. I think to be able to cut it out immediately is an unrealistic scenario. I think it's setting out realistic goals. And so the way I'm going to deal with this is I've been able to acknowledge that I have been drinking too much, and I'm going to reel it back in again. I'm due to go away on the 25th of this month for a short break, and so I'm going to make it my target now to stay off the drink for that period of time. And I think that's the point I'm trying to get at. I think it's to sort of say, look, guys, I think if you are on the road to recovery and trying to make positive changes, I think it's important to set out realistic goals. I think that's a key factor in making sure that you can make steady progress and realistic progress without fear of falling back and then feeling like you're a failure. I think set out realistic goals. If you feel you're slipping away, be able to acknowledge that and be in control of that and pull yourself back in again. I hope that was helpful. Take care of yourself. Please subscribe, and I'll keep in regular contact. Cheers. Take care. Bye bye.